Well, if they caucus the same way that they campaigned, no group in parliament will have a majority and therefore be capable of proposing a prime minister to President Macron. So they've been in tractation, in negotiations all week long. And Friday, they thought they had come upon a consensual candidate, Huguette Bello, a woman who is president of the island of Réunion, which is a region. She had been a socialist, but she'd also been a UMP. She was acceptable to Macron, and she was acceptable to LFI, to Mélenchon's group. But the socialist, Olivier Faure, rejected her, saying that he wasn't comfortable perhaps to LFI. And so for the moment, there's no common candidate. And what the parties have talked about doing is trying to get ready for this week's activity, which is choosing what's called their caucuses, their parliamentary groups, and choosing the president of the assembly and what's known here as the bureau, the office, which will be the various officers of parliament.
When they finally do find someone that they all can coalesce around as well, is this going to be someone they A, think will work with the president, or B, make the best job of not working with the president, given that this is French politics?
Well, that's interesting. If they realign themselves, that is, they form a parliamentary caucus, that's what they have to declare by Thursday, their parliamentary groups. If they form a parliamentary caucus with the groups that are anti-Macron, then they'll have to choose someone who would be a spoiler, who would stand up to Macron. The last one who they proposed, the president of the Union, would have worked with Macron. So the real question is, are they going to manage to reconfigure? For right now, they're all kind of stuck with about a third of the seats. So either the right has to take a little bit from the Rassemblement National, from the extreme right, or they're going to have to do a deal. Macron's going to have to do a deal with the LFI. That is, the extreme right and the extreme left have too many seats to form a majority. One or the other is going to be needed. And that leaves Macron with a strange option, which is leaving Gabriel Attal in place.
Douglas, I'm just reading a Politico piece, and it is arguing that this is a historic moment for the left to reorganize itself. It's been handed something at a time when the country's in turmoil, and it really needs to rise to the challenge and show that it is a side that has some sort of order and ability to govern here. Can you just talk about that, why the left does have such a historic moment in its hands?
Well, the socialists, of course, had been the governing party when I moved to France. And Jean-Luc Mélenchon left the socialists because of Europe, the European Constitution, and took with him a lot of workers and people who had been traditional left voters. He took them to the extreme left, in opposition to Europe, in opposition to business, in opposition to the rich, and they've never governed. They've replaced what used to be the Communist Party's role. The Communist Party shrunk to almost nothing. And so the socialists dwindled to an almost nothing party, about the size of Les Républicains. So they've not been able to govern. And right now, Olivier Faure, the general secretary of the Socialist Party, is trying to present the socialists as a party that can govern. And they're criticizing the extreme left, saying it's time to stop your protests and it's time to assume the reins. With the Greens, the socialists had before a pink-green government in France. It's possible to reconstruct something like that with Macron, who I will remind you was a socialist finance minister.